It is the Sports Fix here on Flow FM. And look, we're about to come up to the June long weekend, and there are many sporting events that happen over this weekend, usually association-based, whether you're in South Australia, Victoria or New South Wales. But in South Australia, we have a massive event for netballers across the state. It is the statewide country championships that are played in Adelaide at our massive netball centre there in the middle of town. I've been to these a few times as a son following his mother around as she was coaching and playing in these competitions for, many years ago now. But a lady who's been to the last 24, I believe, editions joins me on the line right now. The convener of the country championships for South Australia is Mary Hewett, and she joins me on the line. Mary, thanks for spending some time with us today on what I'm sure is a very busy week for you.
Yes, it is, Jason. It's all ramping up, and hopefully we're all keeping an eye on the weather reports to make sure there's no big showers of rain.
Well, for those that are playing indoors, they won't mind, but of course there are many courts outdoors that will be frequented, and I'm sure everyone's holding their collective breath on that.
Absolutely. There's 30 courts and only 4 of them are indoors. So hopefully some of the teams get the opportunity to play indoors, or obviously all the senior games are inside. So, yes, so we'll be praying for it. It can rain at night time, but not during the day.
Now, for our network audience across Victoria and New South Wales, they may not grasp the scale of this sort of a competition. A lot of them have their association netball carnivals through the year in those states, and they're broken up into regions. But here in South Australia, we do have our own regional carnivals from time to time, but the country championships are a staple of the June long weekend, and they come from all corners of our state to participate in these, and it is a genuine statewide event. How many teams, Mary, do you have participating in the country championships this weekend?
Okay, this weekend we've got 100 teams playing, so that's split up with 11 and under, 13 and under, 15 and under, 17 under and seniors. So we kick off with the opening ceremony at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, with the first game at 9 o'clock, and then the last game is 4:30 in the afternoon, and then back again on Sunday, where the first game's at 9 o'clock and the last game's at 4:30, with the A-grade grand final at 4 o'clock on Court 1, and then Mondays we have all the underage finals, and the first one's at 9 o'clock, and we hope to finish around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So there's 511 games for all those statistics from what I've worked out. So that's quite a few matches and organisation, and then continuing to Play HQ, which is the platform where we key all our results in so people can see everything. So statewide, we've got 25 associations, and yes, I've been going down for quite a while. Like you said, I've just worked that out to 24 years, and I've met some really great people along the way, and met some beautiful people, and I just love watching the juniors develop from juniors to seniors, and it's a very good institution, and lots of people obviously coming to Adelaide for the weekend.
Many a friendship are made over these championships, lifelong friendships, people that you don't perhaps get to play with often at association level across your home association. You might meet someone from a different town and room with them, or and you strike up lifelong friendships. That's what these carnivals do. But when you put that down in statistical terms, like you just did, 511 games in 3 days, 25 associations, 100 teams, times that by 10, you got over 1,000 players frequenting the courts for those 3 days. I mean, the numbers are staggering. There wouldn't be a carnival or a competition like this, I don't think, anywhere else in the country that could rival what you guys have to put together every June long weekend.
Yes, no, it is a very, very big carnival, and then you look at it, like most teams have got between 9 and 11 players, and then you've got your coaches and team managers, then you have your umpires as well as mum and dad and their kids, and sometimes their grandparents or other family members. So there's quite a few that goes through the time turnstiles each day.
2020, of course, through COVID, it didn't happen, and I'd tell you what, Adelaide would have noticed the hit because you mentioned, you're talking thousands of people that come in for this competition, and that's not exaggerating. Not just the players, but the coaches and all of the the parents and supporters. So there's thousands of people that get to Adelaide for this from all corners of the state. What's it been like in the last couple of years? Because, look, this is a tough enough carnival to organise and administer without doing it inside the COVID sphere. I imagine last year would have been ridiculously tricky, but this year has it been a little easier?
Well, actually, it was easy, I think, last year. There's
Really?
quite a few towns this year seem to be hit more with COVID because we didn't open up the borders till like November, December. So since then, there's been quite a few pockets in towns where COVID has hit. And I just know even our own association, which is Northern Areas, so we go from Oru right down to Port Broughton. And there's some teams that have really struggled to fill top teams this season so far. So we've even had one netball team decide to withdraw due to COVID. And then I know some football teams, they've been hit by 8 or 9 players and had to bring up from obviously their B grade or reserves football team to fill a team. So, and I dare say we're not alone there. There'd be other associations that would be very similar this year that would be really struggling. And whereas last year, COVID wasn't, we all had to wear masks and stuff, but we didn't have to, we didn't actually get COVID then, whereas now we are. So,
yeah, fair call. I'd tell you, the numbers and whatnot that we're talking about that we went through earlier on, I mean, they're staggering enough. But what about the band of volunteers that come together and paid staff from Netball SA as well, but the group that help you put this together every year must be fairly large in number as well. You can't coordinate 511 matches with umpires to suit, guys trying to get their badges when it comes to umpires and all those sorts of things without a fairly big team behind you.
That's right, Jason. So there's 8 on the organising committee, including myself as convener, and then Netball SA have got a group of about another 8 people, whether it's to do with umpiring, coaching, or assisting with actually the country champs. So and then we've got mentoring for coaching and umpiring over the weekend. So that's a very good thing that Netball SA have provided to us country people to develop our coaching and umpiring in our region.
Yeah, it's a fairly extensive operation, and when it comes to umpiring and coaching and getting badges and whatnot, I mean, the country championships is the perfect place to do it, but it adds another layer of organisation, I'd imagine. The Brains Trust that gets together during the carnival and works out all of the ladders and who's playing who and what the future of the draws will look like when you get towards finals time. I hope you've got a big committee room. How many people do you get in there over the weekend?
Oh, no, we've got, as I said, in the organising committee, there's about 8 of us in the duty room, and then there's another room that enters all the results with in another area. So there are usually about 2 or 3 in there at any one time, keying in results from the previous game. So, it's all good. It works. Seems to work.
When do your organising committee start to get together during the season and start looking towards the coming country champs? Because I imagine this doesn't get all put together inside 1 month. You're probably planning next year's already.
Oh, not quite. We usually have a wash-up gathering and meeting in August, September, and then we have another meeting in December, and then we start again. Usually have another meeting in February and then April, and then obviously our last meeting's June, which is a couple of days before the actual country carnival, just to smooth out quite a few things for the weekend, yes.
Now, I won't ask you to speak to this, but I wanted to make mention of the fact that there are many people, netballers, who have gone on to bigger and better things that have started their elite pathway through the country championships. I don't think there's any question about that. In fact, I think you'll find that the current Thunderbirds captain may have represented Midwest many, many moons ago now in one of these carnivals going back some time. So it really is the start of a netballer's journey, and can also be the end of a netball's elite journey as well in terms of senior matches and senior championships as well. So it's a really good, I guess, bookend competition for people who want to play at that next level, isn't it?
That's right. And I know there's even state league premier coaches that come around and have a look over the weekend at some of the senior games, and even the 17s knowing that down the track, oh, she's quite good. she'll be going to university soon. We might, give her a call and see whether she's interested in coming out with some trainings ready for next season. So some of them get picked up that way. But as you said, Hannah Petty from over the West Coast, she's our current Thunderbirds captain, and then Georgie Horges from Kangaroo Island. She's done the pathway through country champs as well. And there's oodles of others, but Sarah, what's her name, Glasgow, and
Lauren Nurse, for many moons ago
Sarah
as well.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I haven't got all that information in front of me, and I'm sorry if I've missed any names. Taylor Williams is on the current list as well from Adelaide Plains. She's another girl that's gone through the pathway of country champs and regionals, and now with obviously the state with Thunderbirds. So that's great to hear.
Well, first of all, congratulations and thank you in advance for you and your organising committee for everything that you do for these netballers. Over 1,000 of them will be plying their trade on the courts there at Netball HQ in Adelaide. If you are in Adelaide over the long weekend, get down and support your region. There's bound to be multiple teams from your region playing on those courts. So it's great to be chatting with you, Mary. Thanks for taking some time out to catch up with us, and we wish you all the best for a successful weekend.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time today, Jason. That's great.